Stop.
Cool. So when my partner does a really good job understanding that he can't split my frame and he dives for his arms under, the first thing I have to do is make sure that I don't let him pull my legs up onto his hip shelf, right? So go ahead and pull me up. So this is really bad because I'm going to lose my mobility. I can't let him grab like this. That's also really bad. And I also can't let him grab my lapels to start climbing his grips. Those are all really bad things. Okay, so whenever the person starts going for the double under, I have to be a little bit proactive, and I have to start shimmying my hips away. Now, if I can shimmy my hips away enough that I can start bringing my heels on the hips, I might actually even be able to do some really cool sweeps or attacks from here. The first thing I'm going to do once I get my heels in is make sure that he can't run away with his arms. All right, you put his arms there, I'm going to keep those arms there. I'm just going to make some grips. You can make pistol grips or those little flippy grips. Whatever grip you choose, make sure it's a good one. And make sure you keep both sides, because if you lose one side, it might be very easy for him to start, your partner to start, pushing your leg down, right? So this is what we don't want to happen, because then his leg's going to follow and his whole body's going to follow, and your frame is going to get split. Okay, so let's go back. What we're doing here is my partner's trying to go under my frame, so I'm putting something in the way. I'm wedging my feet in, and I'm pushing my knees in so that I kind of have a frame of my own. So every time he tries to pull me in, right, I'm blocking. See how when I put my feet, wedge my heels in, he can no longer pull me up. So when you see the person that's passing your guard getting frustrated and unable to split your frame, which is what often people will try to do first, you might see them trying to jump over or dive under your frame, your legs primarily in this case, and then trying to lift you up. So when you wedge your heels into the hips, they can no longer do that. Now from here you want, again, the strong grips. You're going to stretch them out a little bit until you have enough space to pass one foot to the other side. Now once I pass the foot to the other side, I'm going to start stretching this leg, sitting to that side, until I can get the tap. Yeah, Caven's tapping there. Y'all can't see his face, but what I'm basically doing here is an Americana, okay? He can't run away. I'm stretching my leg, which is forcing his elbow to flare out, and he can't move his hip and shoulder away. So he's really stuck, and it's going to be possible for me to apply enough pressure to sometimes submit him on this shoulder. Now, if that doesn't work from here, I've got some nice grips that I can set up. I can bring my leg over, for example, and slide it in between. And from here, a lot of times, it's very easy for me to start riding this arm and sitting out for a back take from here, right? So if I fail to get the submission, a lot of times, as people are pulling their arm back, it exposes a path to the back for you. So if that first passing your legs doesn't work, right, this is another option. Now, if those aren't good enough, and I can get my heels in, I can frame a little bit and push away. I can always choose to go back to a guard that's more familiar, or just go right away into another attack sequence, right? Personally, I always prefer to go to attack sequences. So if I can stretch my partner out from the double unders, right? You have the double unders. I wedge, I frame, I push. If I can get one leg in and I still have this grip, I'm in a really good position to omoplata and triangle, right? Because my partner's doing the double unders and bringing his shoulder close to my hip, I'm just exploiting the positioning that he's already done with his body for me, right? I don't have to move my hips up. His shoulder came to my hip. So whenever that happens, you should always look for omoplatas, arm bars, and triangles. And as you see in this case, all of that stuff is accessible. Right? So there's another option. Finally, this is the worst option. I mean, worst option for him, not for me. Sometimes what happens is people hide their face, right? So you try to push, and they go really deep, and then they start, put your face in my crotch. There you go, that's it. They start hiding their face right in your crotch. When that happens, Yeah, you want to push and frame, and you can bring your leg over and kind of start pushing it down and sitting back. At this point, you can let go, because now what's happened is the way that I'm controlling is I'm no longer framing on the hip. Okay, I'm only framing on the hip on one side. Now I'm framing on the shoulder with my leg, and I'm going to try to bring. And some people may not have the hip mobility for this, right? And if you don't have the hip mobility, well, there you go. There's something to work on, right? And I'm going to try to bring my heel all the way to the other side. Now from here, I really have a good frame and a good ability to push and really break that grip. If I grab this belt as well, it's really difficult for the person to do anything before I can start sitting and sliding. And the more the person resists, the more they're going to be pulling me right to the back. So there's a couple things that you can do to counter double underpasses.